Okay, so we're now going to move on to the travel quiz. And so if you just bear with me, I'll just share my screen and hopefully this will work. Okay, so what we have is we have a series of 25 photographs of cities around the world. And the presentation is going to flash through. So each picture will show for 8 seconds. And what you need to do is to write down what you think the city is. So it is quite fast. So I'm going to play it again a second time. It will just run straight on to give you a chance. And then at the end, I'll obviously read you the answers and we'll see who got the most. So without further ado, here we go.
पहचाना है इश्क की आतिश तेरी सांसों की आहट से पहचाना है इश्क की आतिश मेरी पहचान अधूरी ये हकीकत है तुम्हें चाहने की है गुजारिश गुजारिश मेरी हसरत नहीं जाना ये इबादत है तुम्हें पाने की है कोशिश कोशिश दस्तूर रहे जिंदगी की यही दस्तूर रहे सदा तुम्हारे पास रहने की इजाजत
Okay, so there you go. What I'll do now is run through the answers, and then we'll see who got the most correct. So starting at the beginning, the first one is wonderful Tbilisi in Georgia, as you can see. The second one is actually the Elephant House Cafe in Edinburgh, and as it says on the sign there, it's the birthplace of Harry Potter. So where Joanne Rowling first wrote the initial Harry Potter stories. So if you're a big Potter fan like me, I'm sure that was a bit of a giveaway. Next up, we have the Casa Rosada, or Pink House, in Buenos Aires, capital Argentina. And the balcony you can see there is a famous balcony where Eva Perón and her husband Juan Perón gave the rousing speeches to the nation. Okay, next up we have the waterfront in Baku in Azerbaijan. So the waterfront you can see there, it's actually the Caspian Sea, and from Trivial Pursuit you may remember that is actually the largest lake in the world. Next up we have the Neutrality Monument, the weird looking sort of spaceship building in Ashgabat in Turkmenistan. Then we have the Dragon Bridge in Ljubljana, the capital of Slovenia. Next up, we have the F zones outside the Parliament building in Athens in Greece. Then we have the reclining Buddha in the Wat Po temple in Bangkok. Now, on this picture, we've got the Ottoman Bridge in Mostar in Bosnia and Herzegovina, and the eagle-eyed view will spot that someone's jumping off the bridge. They're not committing harikiri. They're actually earning money from all the tourists. They stand on top of the bridge and wait till they raise enough money, and then they leap off into the river below. Then we have the capital of Armenia, Yerevan. This was actually taken on their Independence Day, which is held in September every year. Fantastic party. One of my favourite cities in Europe. This is the Astrological clock in Prague, in what's now known as Czechia. Used to be the Czech Republic, and obviously before that, Czechoslovakia. This clock chimes on every hour, and some little figurines come out and sort of ring a bell to mark the hour. Next up, we have the main cathedral in Helsinki, capital of Finland, of course. This is the stone bridge in Prizren in Kosovo, and you can see the castle in the background and the main mosque. This is the Manik Jimma Al Fanar, the main square in Marrakesh in Morocco, and you can see the Koutoubia Mosque minaret there in the background as well. This lovely snowy scene is shot in Tromsø in Norway in January 2018, actually. Yeah, beautiful city. One of my favorite cities in the world, this is the Malecon, so the Caribbean waterfront from Havana in Cuba. This building here is not Gotham City and Batman, but it's actually the Arts Centre in Warsaw in Poland. Next up, we have the beautiful River Douro, or Gold River, in Porto in Portugal. You can see obviously the fine bridges across. There's actually 6 bridges across. One of them, it's not actually this one, it's actually designed by Gustave Eiffel of the Parisian Tower fame. But, this is his, or not his bridge, but one of the bridges across the river. Next up, my favourite city in the world that I've ever visited, sadly has been pretty badly damaged over the last few years, but this is the Citadel in Aleppo in Syria, which vies with Damascus to be the longest continually occupied city in the world, over 6,000 years old. Beautiful city. This is the view from Sugarloaf Mountain of Rio de Janeiro. You can see the cable car there, which takes you to the top. Next up, we have the current capital of Indonesia. I say current because it's actually moving to Brunei, sorry, not Brunei, Borneo soon. And that's because this city is actually slowly sinking. Of course, it's Jakarta, capital of Indonesia. Next up, we've got the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem. This picture here is of Ellis Island in the Bay of Manhattan. So this was the centre where all the immigrants who arrived in the USA first went to register and be allocated housing, etc. You may have a giveaway here from if you look at the walls, you can see some bullet marks. This was actually shot in the year 2000, and it's Beirut, capital of Lebanon. And finally, last but by no means least, we have the Royal Crescent in Bath here in the UK. So that's the end of the quiz. I hope you managed to do well. The winner on the day, or in the evening, was actually Julia Hammond, who got 19 out of 25. Not surprising, as she's actually travelled to 120 countries, so she's probably been to most of those. I wouldn't like to do one of her travel quizzes because I'm sure that's going to be even more difficult, but good luck, and I'll be sharing this online on Twitter, so let's see if you can do better than Julia, who got 19. Thanks very much.